Hello, welcome back to Serene Teaching in San Diego. 저는 국내 1호 오픽 강사 OPIc Punch 제인리입니다. 네, 여러분 반갑습니다. 오늘 정말 특별한 손님을 모셔봤어요. 바로 자신의 꿈을 살고 계신 분이라고 설명을 드리는 게 가장 적절할 것 같은데요. 미국의 유명한 TV 방송 진행자 캐슬린 초이가 그 주인공이십니다. 저희가 살아가면서 꿈을 꾸고 계신 분은 참 많으세요. 나는 이런 걸 하고 싶어. 난 이런 사람이 될 거야. 하지만 너무나 아쉽게도 자신의 꿈을 이뤄가신 분들은 그렇게 많지가 않은데요. 저희 캐슬린은 어떻게 해서 자신의 꿈을 살고 계신지, 어떤 그 시크릿을 갖고 계신지 한번 파헤쳐 볼 거예요. 저는 개인적으로 2018년에 캐슬린께서 이제 감독님으로 데뷔를 하셨거든요. 그 첫 번째 영화 제목이 바로 Butterfly예요. 제가 그 영화에 출연했어요. 오픽에서 이제 롤플레잉 퀘션을 단연간 강의하다 보니까 저도 모르게 연기력을 쌓은 건 아닌가. 네. 생각을 해봅니다. 그래서 여러분 오늘 하고 계신 것을 별거 아니네라고 생각하지 마시고요. 나중에 생각하지도 못한 그런 wonderful한 opportunity가 올 수도 있거든요. 자, 오픽 공부도 열심히 하시고 그럼 지금부터 캐슬린 초이 함께 만나보시죠.
Hello, Cathlyn. I'm so excited to see you. How have you been?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you look healthy and happy and safe. I'm so glad to see you. And
yes,
can you?
here.
Yeah. And can you just say hello to our viewers?
Yes, of course. 안녕하세요. 반갑습니다. 캐슬린최입니다.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Well, it's an honor to have you, my director and a role model.
Oh, thank you. Mm-hmm.
Well, so I told our audience that you directed the film Butterfly, and I'm sure they have a lot of questions. Can you just tell us a little bit more about the film, please?
It is a story that takes place during the LA riots near Koreatown in 1992, right? So it depicts the conflict and tension between the Korean American and the Black community at that time. So basically, the story takes place in a hospital setting, in a clinic, where a Korean American nurse by Jane Lee, she struggles with her feelings towards a wounded black guy, right? Black man who comes into the clinic, and she suspects that he has something to do with her family store that was burnt down, as well as her father's disappearance. But as a nurse, now she has to make an important decision to save his life while risking her own. So does that sound interesting?
Very interesting.
아빠 저기 애벌레 좀 봐. 되게 못생겼다. 그치?
저기 날아가는 파란 나비도 못생겼니?
아니 당연히 예쁘지.
진이야, 뭐든지 있는 그대로만 보려고 하지 말고 마음으로 보도록 노력해. 알았지?
Spread to Koreatown.
Oh, this is bad. Jeannie, isn't your dad's store near that area? Oh.
This is evidence. He must have been there at your father's shop.
제니야, 내가 미술신한테 오늘 전화 받았는데 우리 가게가 공격을 당했대. 어떡해? 근데 아빠랑 연락해야 되는데 너 아빠랑 연락한 적 있어 오늘?
We shouldn't jump to conclusions. Right now, he's just a patient like anyone else and should be treated the same way.
I really need you to focus. Look, this guy's life depends on it.
I'm so sorry, doctor.
National Guard units are also setting up a perimeter to contain everyone in the areas affected by the violence.
What do you mean, so we are trapped here? Hey, what are we supposed to do?
He won't last long without a transfusion. I'm sorry, buddy. I don't think there's anything I can do for you.
Well, maybe I can.
What?
It's okay, I can do a little longer.
No, it's too dangerous. I'm not gonna let you kill yourself for this guy.
Okay, Alicia.
Ginny. Dr. Williams!
moral of the story behind the butterfly film, right? As you know, what is it? Is it don't judge a book by its cover?
Absolutely.
Right. A lot of people tend to do that. When I thought of the title Butterfly, I thought of the song 나비’. But as you know, it's a lullaby. So it's kind of like, okay, it's a child song, but I had this sound in my head. So I said, you know, I can play this differently. And it to the, you know, the theme of the film, which so that's what I did that.
Wow. I do still remember. It's a very pretty ending, not because I was in the movie, but I personally do think it's a very touching film. And I think the message is quite related to what's going on these days in coronavirus, like period of time. Sadly, we have like a very strong racial tension these days in the society.
Exactly.
And so I think people can relate to the film. Butterfly.
I really think so too. So for those of you who haven't watched the film yet, you know, I encourage you to do so. Not just because I directed it, but it's, I think the moral of the story, the meaning of the Butterfly film, I think it's very inspiring and relatable, especially to what's going on right now.
Yeah, I agree. So I want to maybe share some of your stories from the beginning. How did you start like your broadcasting life? What was your first role? When was it? With who?
I was only, you know, 10 and a half, and I was living in Brunei. That's where I grew up. My whole family moved there, right? I still remember very vividly in my mind the first day when I was called by my teacher, say, hey, you're on next, right?
Wow.
I was so excited, and I still remember what I was wearing, what I was looking like. And I went to the studio, and it was like cameras and lights everywhere, right? Because it's a live show. Now I'm like a little bit fearful of a live show. Recorded shows, but you know, back then I really enjoyed that. And I don't know why. I just must have it in me, right? So I did that. I played like 3 songs consecutively, flawlessly, without any mistake. And to top it off, I was paid like, I think it was close to like $200. Yeah. And it was
10-year-old?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
In 80s. So it was a very popular show.
Wow.
Yeah, so you get paid. And ever since then, I went back 2 years later. I was hired as like a, you know, musician, a dancer in an entertainment division. I was modeling also. That was my experience in Brunei. In college, I started to work as a freelance English reporter, like you know, for like KBS, you know, NBC. Broadcasting companies would call the club that I belonged to. Interpreters Club at 외국어대학교, right? So, and I got to meet and interview like celebrities who were visiting Korea.
Really? Can you tell us just maybe one most memorable episode with a Korean celebrity?
Oh my God. It's not Korean, it's American celebrities.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Was actually John Denver.
Wow. I actually don't know the person. I'm so sorry. I gotta Google.
He's a very, very famous country singer. I love music. And as a musician myself, I enjoyed interviewing music artists.
Yeah, of course.
And I also had the chance to meet, I think, Pierce Brosnan one time. Very long time ago, very briefly.
But you met him in person?
Yeah.
007.
007. That was like, I think 1990 or something like that. Yeah,
wow.
That's what I enjoyed, meeting people all the time.
Yeah.
Very interesting. And also, you know, did you know that I hosted a few episodes of a show called Let's Explore Korea on Arirang TV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I did that. It was a lot of fun. You know, I felt comfortable in front of camera since I was a kid.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah. So I did that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, because just not many kids experience such thing. And so you stood out since you were very young.
I just enjoyed doing new things that are very exciting for me. So it came up naturally for me. And then when I came to the US after I got married, right, in 2000, and then, in 2008, after I left the other company as a business development executive, marketing executive, my husband asked me, like, what do you want to do? And so I said, he suggested, hey, you love to cook. You know so much about Korean food, culture, and I can cook so many, thousands, hundreds of recipes. So he says, hey, why don't you do a cooking show? So I said, I'd love to do that because I'm always pitching about Korean food and culture wherever we went, right? So,
I actually watched I'm sorry to interrupt, just because I watched your Korean kitchen this morning, like 3 episodes in a row, and it was so fun.
Oh, thank you.
I watched it before, but this time, because I'm cooking more often with our baby and my husband, I wanted to learn some really realistic, practical new tips. And my favorite was 고리찜, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorites too. Hi, I'm Cathlyn Choi, a Korean chef now living in the US. My passion is creating healthy and delicious foods using some of my favorite Korean ingredients. Join me in learning about Korean foods, ingredients, and culture on Cathlyn's Korean Kitchen. Well, I produced 4 seasons total, right? So there are a lot of episodes with different people, some with chefs, and a lot of different traditional and fusion, Korean-inspired recipes, which I developed on my own. So, the whole idea behind that was I wanted to create awareness and to educate the Americans here in the U.S. About our nutritious, right, and delicious Korean foods, and also about our culture and traditions. Yeah. So that is also featured in my season 4 show, especially.
Of course.
Now, Asian Voices, right?
Yeah.
For the Asian community, which is again the first and only television show that highlights the Asian Pacific Islanders and organizations and culture in the U.S. Yeah.
Wow. So how long have you been hosting Asian Voices again, Cathlyn?
Well, I started when I first I founded a nonprofit organization called Asian Culture Media Alliance, right? ACMA for short. And it's because not to make money or to become famous, because I really felt the need to provide the community, our underserved community, with a voice in mainstream media. And so I said, hey, who better than me, right? I can do that. I have the resources. Eric's always supporting what I want to do.
Right.
So with his help, I was able to produce and launch Asian Voices in 2013. 2014.
14, okay.
So now we are in season 4.
Yeah.
Hello, and welcome to Asian Voices. We are your source for Asian and Pacific Islander culture, lifestyle, and entertainment. I'm Cathlyn Choi, and I'll see you on Asian Voices.
I do realize as I moved to the States again, like in 2014, after I got married, I do realize that even in 21st century, Asian culture is not very well represented on TV media in the United States. So I was so glad to learn more about Asian Voices through ACMA and through you.
Right. We are in the U.S. and it's like a melting pot of all these different people, immigrants from different countries, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're here in the U.S., you have to assimilate into the culture, but you can never forget where you're from, your heritage and roots. Yeah, I think that's really important.
I want to mention about E4 Women, the webinar you hosted. And I was so inspired. I really liked each panel's advice, their stories. So I watched it twice from beginning to the end. And so I wonder also what's your driving force? Where do you get the passion to, reach out to younger generation? Because not every successful people has a heart. And also I was amazed because you were surrounded by so many other wonderful like female Asian media people, and I want to know what's the secret.
I'm a people person. I've always been that way. I love meeting people. I'm never afraid to do something new. Go somewhere new.
That's incredible.
Yeah, new people. I think that's where it starts.
Oh,
Fear.
wow.
Yes, everybody is in your own like a bubble or in your own world, right? A lot of people like think of it as a square, right? And like a box, they say. Remember the saying, like think outside the box?
Right.
Yeah, I think and live outside the box, basically.
That's awesome.
However, it's important to have a structure first. Okay. So you have to, be comfortable and, be familiar with your own zone and structure. However, once you are ready, then you just let one side down, right? Eat one at a time. You can't just do everything at the same time, right? It never works that way. So just a little bit, let your guard down a little bit, one at a time. And when you get a little comfortable, then you take the next step. But it's always the first step that is very difficult, correct? No matter what you do, even me, I mean, anything I do, the first step. But once you take that leap of faith or the first giant step or little step, then it gets easier that way. So I would say, don't be afraid to meet people. Don't be afraid to do new things. I know it's not easy, but you have to start somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
Especially if you want to be in the broadcasting industry, right? Where you have to.
Very important.
Not every broadcasters or journalists are necessarily social people either, right?
Yeah, I agree.
But I think, in life in general, whatever, no matter what you do, I think that's where you need to start. But you also have to have a purpose in life. You have to define and identify what you like to do, what you are passionate about. I think it starts there.
Right.
So once you know that, you want, not what you need, there's a difference. So what you want to do, then, the next, it's easy. You just have to work hard, and be persistent. So I would suggest get out of your comfort zone, starting now or tomorrow, right? And go to social or business networking events. Maybe, start with once a month or maybe once a week if you can, and make a goal. This is a goal, right?
So building up your social skills is very important. Life in general, but also for broadcasters. If that's something new, actually, even though I was on and off working for TV and radio once in a while, I didn't realize that part. I mean, the value of social skills. You are doing a lot of things, hosting at least 2 TV shows, and I know you're taking care of your interns through ACMA. I heard about Korean Women's Association.
International network, yes.
Yeah. I just wonder how you are able to manage all that, having thousands of people in your network. Do you even sleep at all?
I mean, I do a lot of things, and I do wear a lot of different hats, and that do come with great responsibilities and duties. But the important thing is, I can't do everything by myself.
Right.
No one can do things on their own, right? It's all about collaborative efforts, right? And teamwork. So I think that's part of the success beyond what I do. Teamwork, and also it's important to really form what I call the mastermind group of people in your network. That can be professional network people or people that you know and trust. Because whatever I do, I always consult other people who are, who have experience and have expertise in that field, right? Key is, don't ever be afraid to ask.
I know.
You never know until you do so.
Wow.
Right?
I've just learned a great lesson.
I couldn't have produced my own shows set up my own nonprofit organization without the collaboration of all these people who like-minded people from different communities. And especially my husband, Eric. I have to always bring him up because when we met, he already had a production business, and that's how, you know, he asked me about my cooking show. You know, he was the one main force behind my cooking show. And
That's
also, yes, my fully supported me with whatever I did, and especially with producing Asian Voices and my cooking show. So when you have a structure, right, and I combine structure with a little bit of flexibility. I like to be flexible too.
Me too.
Yeah. So if you don't have that, that's going to be tough working with other people, right? But so organized planning. Start by making notes.
Yeah, I realize that's very important.
Right. And like, for example, like before you go to bed, have a notepad.
Right.
And say, all right, what am I doing tomorrow? Important things, write it down. Right? Action items. And then so in the morning, because otherwise you forget, right?
I just wanted to show my journal.
Okay, let me see your journal.
Yeah, it's just called like Strength and Dignity up here. And even though I'm a full-time mom and I do a little bit of like writing and creating YouTube videos, I try to write down even one line because it helps me.
Absolutely. Yeah, anything. You know, you think of inspirations or something that you remember that you don't want to forget, write it down, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then also reminders in your calendars or on your phone. So that's organized planning and decision making. Oh my gosh. I have to say a lot of people tend to procrastinate, push things off. So one important thing that you probably should try to do is like, whenever there's something you remember, say, okay, I'll do it tomorrow or later. Don't do that. Just do it right now. When you remember something,
I love it.
Do it right away.
I love it, really. Wow. So I know you have a lot of things going on, and because you're a very organized person, I believe that you have some future plans. And
Okay.
A little bit.
Yes, I always have future plans, and as always, plans change too. But fundamentally, if I want to do something, I have a passion for it, I go for it. And one of them is, like I was saying, an online show. It's called, okay, I'll reveal it for the first time, Cathlyn's K-Flix Cravings.
Oh, wow.
Or K-Flix, you know what, we change it, K-Flix Kitchen. So what it is, I will host a show because to educate the Americans and create awareness about K-dramas and films. And at the same time, introduce the delicious Korean food that are featured in them.
That sounds so fun.
It is a fun project,
very creative.
Yeah, thank you. I don't think there's any show that do both. I know there's a lot of cooking shows out there. But like I said, it's about educating and create awareness about the wonderful films and dramas out there. And then number two, I'm currently working on finishing up a script for a feature film. I think you might know the title, Kimchi Pasta.
Oh, yeah. I actually love the trailer. I watched it more than once.
Yeah, that's actually started with a short film, student film project, but we love the concept, you know, behind it and the message behind that show. So Eric and I have been working on it and currently trying to finalize the script and and bring it to life. And I'll keep you posted on that.
Thank you.
And another film project, another feature film project based on actual events and a person, actually about my dad's story. Very story. So I want to have the opportunity to produce the film as well. And then, you know, last but not least, you know, continue expanding all the media programs for my nonprofit organization and while mentoring and empowering the younger generation of Asian Americans, Pacific Islander, right? That's like, you know, my ongoing passion. And, you know, instead, at this stage in my life, I want to focus more on being behind the camera and producing and directing and creating more programs in the future. That's that's a lot more, but you know, let's just stop at that for now.
We still want to see you in front of the camera too, Cathlyn.
Every now and then I'll come on. Yeah, so I'll have my pet projects going on.
Oh, yeah.
Asian Voices, I'll still host that, and also the new show. But yeah, I want more and more other new faces, younger faces to come, to be featured in front of the camera.
That's a wonderful heart, really, like thinking about next generation and just your passion for Korean culture. As a Korean, I am so proud of you. I'm very blessed to know you in person. Seriously.
I'm so glad we met, and I always believe that we all meet for a reason.
Of course.
We were destined to meet. And when I first saw your resume and the link and your photo, and I can feel that energy and the passion in the text, right? I haven't met you in person, but I saw you and I envisioned the character, and I said, this is you. The character is you. So I'm so glad you were part of our Butterfly film, and you did such an amazing job.
Thank you. Thank you. It's just an honor, and I'm very grateful that you trusted in me because I never had actual like acting experience before. Like you just were the great leader. Yeah, that's why I was able to. Yeah.
I think it also helps if somebody believes in you and then gives you a little nudge, right?
Right.
And I think that gives you the confidence to do something well. Right. You want to not just impress the other people, but it's for yourself, right? Doing it for yourself. You want to do things good, right? And as I said, nobody can ever be perfect. But I encourage everyone to strive for perfection. Only then you can really, the results will show, right?
Absolutely.
And one last piece of advice. One of my favorite quotes. I have a lot of quotes, but one of my favorite quotes is that a quitter never wins, but a winner never quits. So ask yourself, which one are you?
Oh my goodness. That's so inspiring.
Thank you.
I actually just had goosebumps. Wow.
You're a winner. I'm a winner. You guys all watching this?
Wow. Yeah, we're the winner.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Cathlyn, thank you so much for joining our channel. It was so fun, very inspiring. And I was actually a little nervous because, again, you are the biggest celebrity we've ever had on our channel.
I'm glad you reached out. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Thank you. I'm sure our audience appreciates the interview, and I will talk to you again soon.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Yes.
안녕하세요.
Stay safe.
You too.
네, 감사합니다.
네, 감사합니다.
In our next episode, we're going to meet Steve Chang, the founder of Copa Vida, which is a greatly loved coffee shop by thousands and thousands of Californians. There are 7 locations in California. It's very popular for the urban style interior and definitely tasty and high quality coffee and desserts. So stay tuned, and if you like the video today, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Stay safe. Bye bye.